Hi everybody, my name is Pat. Thanks everybody for coming today. I run Moti, an identity protocol that focuses on monetizing your Web2 data. So actually individually we're creating a lot of data every single day, about 150 gigabyte, and that data is actually making California $5 billion a day. So there's a lot of data out there. And because of GDPR law and CCPA law, all of these different companies actually have to let you download all of your available information. So if you go on Facebook right now, you can actually go to settings, you can download all the information. It will give you a 42 gigabyte of all of the data that you had since 2005. So we have access to this data, but right now what we don't have is the infrastructure for the users to really own it, store it in a decentralized, store it in a privacy-preserving way, and be able to use it for their benefit and monetize from it. So that's what we are focused on. We focus on two vertical, one in B2B, which focuses on advertising, targeting drop shippers that are using Shopify at this moment. And on the other front, we're doing dating. Our new product is called zkmatch.com, which basically enables dating in a ZK way, which actually basically means how much information do you have to disclose about yourself to get a match, right? What if you don't have to disclose any information at all and you get the match first, and in some way you can actually give a lot more information later down the line as you go on your first date. So that's what we focus on. I'm going to pass it on to Wei over here.
Hey everyone, my name is Wei. I'm the founder of ADOT. So what ADOT is doing is that we are creating an AI powered search engine for Web3. And the reason why I'm doing that is because I came from Google. I've been doing search engine for a while. I was one of the founding members in Google's mobile search engine team. And right now, creating something better than Google is always my dream. Since Web3 is creating a better internet than Web2, then we're creating the search engine for Web3, which must be better than Google. So that's my initial motivation. And we are backed by a lot of investors, VCs, and blockchains. We got investment from Aptos, from Gumi, Hash Global, and Cemex, those investors. And we already have the product launch. Our domain is really simple, a.xyz. That's really a cool domain name.
Really love it. Amazing, A dot.
Yeah, that's the best Web3 domain name. Anyway, if you want to try it out, you can try the search engine. You can search for anything on-chain or off-chain. You can search for to do some research for some projects. You can find some interesting air jobs. You can ask whatever thing about the Web3 for ADOS. Right? That's all.
Awesome, cool. So, first question I have for both of you is, obviously AI is kind of like eating software, eating the world. Most of the AI right now is centralized. It's pretty much with big tech, Google, and some of the other companies that you've been working for. So where do you see decentralized AI fitting in? What are the opportunities? And if decentralized AI does take off in a big way, how do you see that impacting the centralized AI players?
Would you like to? I can go as well.
You can go first.
I would look at it from two different perspectives. One is about really being able to work together and crowdsource all of the different data that makes a decentralized AI powerful and useful. And on the other front is really about how we need more personalization when we're using AI. Sometimes it gives us a lot of generic bullshit. That's not the type of applications that we are looking for. And I'm looking at, if I have all of these different personal data about myself, what are the different possibilities that we can build in a way where it's not about sharing that data or even licensing the data for money, but it's about really being able to apply that AI into different use cases. The one thing that I'm looking into is if Facebook and Twitter and Instagram is able to leverage our data. They don't sell our data. It's like making a movie. When you make a movie, you don't sell your movie. You sell movie tickets for everyone to come watch the movie, but you still retain the control over that data. And I see in the personal AI space, that's where I see the potential is. And I think it's not just, in the current form, it's like a chatbot, which is almost synonymous with AI, right? In the sense where you're looking at chatbot as an AI. But what I see is like, what about, as we said, if they can do advertising, could we do advertising given that we have all this different personal data across all of these different platforms? Could AI help us train a model that allows us to understand who we are and what our preferences are in a way where we can do attention matchmaking, where your attention is valuable, but sometimes you're not in the right place. And the other person just don't want to give you the day of time at that moment. So in that way, I see a huge potential in terms of social networking, and I see a huge potential, but I think the main thing is about personalization of AI using personal data. That's where I see the decentralized aspect is going to really come into play.
Yeah, I'm also interested in the data generated by AI because in the decentralized AI, we will have more and more connected machines. They will generate more and more data. But for AI, the problem is that we cannot. These data are not the other data, what I call machine data. They are not quite easy to be used by users. But with AI capability, it's possible to connect those machine data with human because we need to make this machine data to be usable, to be understandable to human, and to be able to serve their purpose because they need to do something and based on some information. So if we can connect, we can have a search engine which can search into those machine data and let AI to understand that and then give user advice or some answers to whatever they want to find or to whatever they want to do, then that's the best way. Like AI can connect machine data with human. So then we will be more efficient to use the Web3 because in Web2 you need a human to create a lot of articles, write a lot of articles, to do a lot of things and then make that usable to human. But in the Web3 plus AI world, you can delete all the middle layer. You can direct connect machine data, more and more machine data with human. So that will be more efficient. That's what AI can do for the decentralized world. Yeah.
Cool. My next question, I think you mentioned dating apps and all that. I was reading an article the other day that engagement on dating apps is falling pretty rapidly. The only apps that people are using now are AI companions, So people are using more AI companions than dating apps. So obviously, you probably have additional thoughts on it around peer-to-peer networks and how that would potentially, be different and how that impacts your user experience. So would like to hear some more thoughts on that.
Yeah, I think we are very used to the model where we're just giving all the data away without a second thought, right?
Yeah.
In exchange for what they call a good user experience, when in fact are they really, I'm talking about social media platforms, financially, economically incentivized to give us really good social products? I would say no. I would say they're incentivized to capture our attention, to serve as ads, right, to make us addicted, but not necessarily fulfilling a lot of the social needs, right? So I think a lot of the times when we look at this is for those that obviously use social media, sometimes I feel anxious, like, whoa, why is my friend, Johnny going on this amazing vacation in Ibiza not invite me, right? And I feel a little bit sad about that. And I think in many cases we're externalizing a lot of our desires and needs onto comparing with other people instead of having an engine that allows us to really be able to figure out who we are and what we want to do. And if we want to match those people, wouldn't we be able to also find other people that are exactly looking for, needs and wants can actually be put together and be match made in a way where we don't have to invade the user's privacy. And that's really what I see the potential of this data is, because if we have access to this data, again, you can download it, I can download it, it's just going to take up the disk space at this moment. So if we're able to provide very, very simple solution to start with, we're not claiming that we can do everything all at once, but if we can see the magic in it and can experience it, and I feel like that would do a lot of good in terms of the adoption of this technology. But right now, we just really want to focus on these two advertising, dating, specific use cases where you can fully and authentically be who you are and be able to find opportunities that actually fits your needs, instead of having to join a club that you clearly don't belong in and feel bad about it. Yeah. And that's what I would say.
Cool. And Dr. Peng, for a question for you again is how do you see this impacting your product, right? Obviously, you're more focused on search, and AI is going to eat search away as well.
Yeah.
If you look at all of the AI as well as Perplexity, a lot of people,
Right.
most people like Perplexity a lot more than Google now. I know a lot of my personal friends as well, they are pretty much using Perplexity for everything. They find the results more rich, better from a UX standpoint, they like the attribution. And Google's core business at risk. I think there's been rumors that OpenAI is going to have its own search competitor to Google as well. So I mean, the entire space is going to, see a massive shift just with AI, right?
Right.
And there's additional opportunities with decentralized AI as well. So would like to hear your thoughts since you're in the search space, and obviously you've been deep in the trenches in Google as well.
Yeah, sure. Oops. Hello. Oh. Yeah, as you said, there are a lot of companies doing those kind of AI search engine, Google, Microsoft, Perplexity. But we have fundamental different thinking with them because in general, they are doing search engine for human. That's what they are basically doing, right? Google, you can search at Google, Google give you a list of things or give you answers, and then you look at that. But what we are doing at ADOT, our vision is that we need to do search engine for AI, for machine. It's not for human, it's for machine. Because right now people will be more and more used to interact with AI, so they hope to get everything from AI. But AI is outdated, the information is outdated, right? It can be biased. If AI can have a search engine for itself, AI can search for something reliable and get the answers from there. Then AI can understand this, can try to analyze that, and then give you a personalized answer to that. So that's our final goal. We are doing search engine for AI, not search engine for human. AI is for human, search engine for AI. That's our thinking. So yeah, that's a general, like, our vision different from Google, from Perplexity. They are all doing, they're searching inside the human websites, but we're searching in the Web3 machine data. So that's something that has better data for AI. Well, sure, but that's one difference. The second difference is that we are doing that in a decentralized way in the future. So you will have more control of it will be more transparent, and you will have more control of the search engine or your data. For example, you cannot ask Google to develop a search engine for your community, but you can ask ADOT to easily generate a search engine for yourself or for your community. You cannot ask Google, say, hey, this is fraud, please, I can remove that. And Google will say, no, we can. It's only us who can remove that, right? But at decentralized AI or search engine, the user will be able to do that, right? And also user will be able to contribute their data, some data that may not be visible to Google, or some data that's private data. Sure, they need to get reward for that. So that's how decentralized search engine will be different from Google search engine as well.
Got it. Cool. Thanks for that. Looks like we had Astrid join us. I know you're late, but it would be great to get an introduction and let the audience know what you're working on.
Yeah, sure. I have been here yesterday as well and sitting in the same panel discussion with Link AI, and I saw the same poster and also the Stanley. But pleasure to be here again. Yeah, I'm Astrid. I'm from UTU Network. UTU Network is the layer one focusing on VPN sector. People will question what's the DPN and AI relate to each other. I would say it's all about the real world asset or real world application. It's also one of our ultimate goals because in the bear market, no one would believe in the NFT was like millions of US dollars for just a picture. That's why people want to focus on the sustainability, sustainable value. That's why we want to bridge something with the real world. It's just not online or digital kind of asset or like a digital kind of thing. That's why we have developed our own subnet technology for our infrastructure layer one to serve the DPN sector. So we already launched the mainnet last year, and right now we are looking forward to do the TGE later this year in November. We are very well backed by some capital such as KuCoin Ventures, Chain Capital, IDG Blockchain, B3B Ventures, BlockHigh, UB Ventures, and many more. We also realize that the conversion between AI DPIN and IP is very important. That's we also hosted the side event like 5 days ago on 16 with that topic. So I think that the AI is important in this era, especially to apply it with the DPIN sector regarding the cloud storage, because the cloud storage and the DPIN will provide the store so that data can store on that kind of server and have the scalability, while AI will serve their goal to be personalized. For example, the mainstream user wouldn't know much about AI, but if you use some beauty camera app, it's all about AI. Or like I met some of my friends from US some years ago, and he said that he's a millionaire, and I asked why. He said that I use a Midjourney and other tools like that, just make some NFT and he sell it in the OpenSea, and then he suddenly becoming a millionaire. And just like daytime coding, and nighttime he just creates some digital collection on that. And yeah, that's easy way. But now we are focusing on DPIN in the real world asset. It's a real world kind of thing to have the sustainable value. That's why the AI is much more important.
Awesome. AI is the future. I'm glad it's making millionaires, and hopefully making some millionaires out of us here as well.
Yeah.
I think we have questions in the audience.
For ADOT, as well as you, you're talking about the authentication of data and IP, yes? Because we live in a fake new world, so what are you doing to authenticate the IP or data that your AI is learning from?
Yeah, actually that was one of the big problems when we do search engine, Web2 search engines as well, because we need to, Google become the winner of search engine because they have the algorithm which will know, okay, which one is more trustable, right? But in Web3, you can, actually there are better way to do that, because right now Google just use links to know, okay, if this website has more links, then that's more trustable. But that has been played around by a lot of SEO companies to play with that. But at the Web3 world, you have better way to do that. For example, one way is to use a decentralized way. If I think the data is better, I can stake for that, right? I will vote for that, right? If that data is used more often by others, I will get more rewards. That's one way to do that. The other way is to see how the data is used, how often the data is used, right? The useful data will be used by more developers, right? For example, if I want to know, I search for a project, I want to know how much is its a token, then there's another like fraud token, right? Then more and more, more developers will use the real data, right? They will connect with that. They will call API for that data. They will not use that kind of fraud data, right?
Sure.
So that's something kind of technical thing that can do, like a centralized way or decentralized way. You always have a way to do that. But that would be different from Google's. Like Google just rely on the links, but links I don't think that's very easy to be played with.
Do you see a world where every IP holder or brand will have their own smart contract to push out as the original issuer all of their content IP traceable back to that smart contract?
Yeah, definitely. That's what we believe. Like you have contract or you have wallets. Like if I'm a user, I can contribute my own data, right? This can be used. That'll be traced back because I will know, okay, this data is coming from this data, right? This data is coming from this data, and there are some advertisers who bid for kind of this data, and then but everybody on the chain on this kind of data chain will get rewarded for that. Yeah, that's actually something which we tried to do at Google, but we failed because it's difficult to track this chain, right? Even for users, it's difficult to check that because, for example, one of the difficulties we had was that we tried to charge advertisers based on whether user buy something on your website, for example, whether you buy something on Amazon. But we figured out that it's even this thing is difficult to have to do because users may browse something on a mobile, but then go to their laptop to buy that. Or user may browse something on their mobile and go to the store, physical store to buy that. So the chain is kind of broken. So that's not possible at Web 2, but at Web 3, this data chain, this revenue chain are very easy to be tracked. So that's what we believe in the future. We have a better data tracking tool. We have a better rewarding tool. Yeah.
Can I say something about that? I think if the goal is to have clear attribution of what the ownership of the data and who generated that, it's either going to be a requirement or it's going to be based on some sort of economic incentives based on its applications and the earning potential of such ownership, right? Because it's the same thing with identity as well. It's like, oh, you don't wake up one day and be like, shit, I need to get my digital identity. If I don't get it right now, it doesn't happen. It's usually a secondary effect, which basically either, hey, if I want to get into this airdrop thing or go into the passport thing or whatever it is, I need to do this. Okay, well, I'll have to do it, right? Or if the other way is, hey, there's an earning potential if you're able to attribute all of these data that are being generated, IP, other form of data as well, then it becomes, I think it's imperative that us working in this industry to really focus on the real world use cases that provide the economic incentives for these players to be able to attribute that data. So then, hey, by doing this, you actually get perpetual right and perpetual earnings and potential because they don't see it right now. So we have to be narrow and specific about this, and that's really how I see the space, is that the attribution as a technology is nothing special, but the idea of the fact that, hey, because of all of these different models, you can earn with ADOT, right? And you can earn with Moti or maybe do dating as well. Oh, I just want to do the dating thing. Oh, now I'm actually have a mechanism in which I can attribute all of my data. I can own it because I can make money from it. I can benefit from it. And that's how I would look at that.
Or to her thesis, that it has value, personal value, what we call real world adjacent assets. So things like your diploma in your wallet,
Yeah.
or things you participated in, like a hackathon.
Right.
Your wallet will be the next data graph of the things you've done and the places you've been.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's what she was saying.
Yeah.
Okay.
Do you want to address that, or?
Is that what you're doing with yours?
What's the question?
Sorry, I think.
Yeah, so you were talking about sustainable value through NFTs.
Yep.
So are you working on things like proof of tenure, for example?
Proof of.
Tenure.
LinkedIn, people lie all the
Oh,
time.
okay.
There's no person monitoring. So a better way is for someone like Google to issue NFTs with rarity traits like the start date of a person, how long they worked, any awards they have won. And it's issued for Google's smart contract and therefore traceable back to Google to prove that this person really worked for Google. And that employee can claim that NFT for free.
In my sector about the DePIN, we can have something like subnet DID, decentralized ID, that also stick to the real world and your own identity. So sometimes we had an alternative solution for everything. If it shouldn't be the AI, we can also have the DePIN, and also we can have the IP. The story protocol just raised $140 million US, right? And I think that these kind of tweeting conversion to each other and just as a complement to each other is it can be the alternative solution. It doesn't need to be the replacement.
Yeah, again, not to sidetrack, but story protocol, I think they're making a big bet on putting IP on chain. Again,
Yeah.
I don't fully understand it, but obviously they convince someone at 816Z that it's going to work, right?
But
So I think,
like WeChat in China, right? If you don't have WeChat, you're not going to survive in China, right? So the way that they do verification is interesting, right? So you have to say, hey, because I have to get in, right? So what I have to do is I have to find real people. It's like, hey, do you have WeChat? Can you send me the code, right? Do you have WeChat? Can you send me the code? And that's how you get in, right? And I think this kind of social verification protocol, when applied to Web3, right? Again, is it a requirement? Because in order for you to access what you really want and eat the fruit on the other side of the door, you want to be able to do that? Or is it in a sense where you can actually maximize the potential and you believe in the potential of your own data? And I think that's the couple of things that we can learn from WeChat.
yeah, and while you wait for the big companies to get all that ready, use Blink AI and you can mint your job NFTs with just a text prompt, or you can just use your voice prompts as well.
I built a platform as well.
There you go.
But I like it. Is it chain agnostic?
We support about 6 EVM chains in Solana. So the idea is to abstract all that away, right? With the voice prompt, you shouldn't have to care where. I mean, it'll give you suggestions, and then you can pick and choose.
It looks great.
Cool. Thank you.
Yeah, awesome.
Awesome. So to the last question, obviously, we had some great ideas, obviously great thoughts as well. So just want to hear from the panel where you see this going. Is there any particular idea that you guys are very excited about the marriage of AI as well as decentralized networks?
I think we are trying to serve both the purposes. I can take an example. For example, the TikTok shop right now is the trending area for anyone to make money. For us, we can also apply the DeepIn into that sector of DeepIn of TikTok AI. Like for example, TikTok can create more content and distribute it in more to more hardware or like supply channel. Why the TikTok AI can also like keep upgrading their system so that more content creator will be born and also like monetize from it. And I think that one speaker here was also already mentioned about the social file platform. And from that, everyone can have the chance to be decentralized and monetize their own data and monetize their own content. The idol token model also one of the great examples for that. I was on the Twitter space one day, and the topic was about how to use the AI for the best storytelling and the best like filmmaking. Have you ever watched any movie that's very nonsense, doesn't have any meaning, doesn't have any moral story, just for the sake of entertainment? So I think AI can do that, but we can train AI to be better for the moral story. Like for example, AI cannot make the main character to be attractive and to bring us many values, right? But like if we train the AI to be able to do that, then I think that there are thousands of films and thousands of movies a maker will be born in just a couple of months. Yeah.
Awesome. What's your thoughts, Dr.
Yeah, there are some, well, I've talked about ADOT for a while, so I want to see some other examples I've seen that are really exciting me. Well, today I think the problem of AI is that it's not good enough. I think that's a problem for AI, because AI is like, if we think the best AI is like 100 score, but AI today is like 60 scores, but we need like 80 or 90 to make it work for particular things. So that's a problem, only problem for AI, I think, today. But I saw some companies who, the AI companies, they're not in Web3 field, but they're in Web2. I saw some companies doing, one of my friends' companies doing AI for like AI doctors. Like I've lived in China and the United States, both of them. I think both of their hospitals have problems because in US, if I have I'm sick, I may need like a couple of weeks to be able to see the doctor, right? At that time, maybe my illness is already okay, right? Already recovered. In China, it's also very difficult to get all those doctors' resources. But their idea is that if we can train AI to be some entry-level doctors, then we can fill the gap between the number of patients and the number of doctors. So they have a lot of very interesting progress. Like if you think, okay, I feel pain on my back, then you ask that AI, it will give you some suggestions, or I have some whether I should do some diagnosis or whether I should have some treatment that can solve part of your problems, right? But it will be better than, I know nothing, but I need to see the doctor in 2 weeks. Then my illness may get worse and worse. So I think this kind of industry plus AI really solve the real world problem. I think that's one of the fields that I'm really interested in. I'm really interested to see in the future, right? AI will change everything. It will change Web 2, Web 3. It will change the real world. It will change the hospital. It will change our daily life. That's really something I'm interested in.
Yeah, especially the strawberry models that came out last week, which have like reasoning as well as self-awareness capabilities, were pretty exciting and also at the same time pretty scary on what they can do, right? What about your thoughts, Zach?
Yeah, I think to put it simply, we're definitely in the bubble era of the decentralized AI world, right? And right now we focus a lot on demonstrating our capability and competence based on the amount of supply that we can have, right? Where we have all this data, we have all this computer that can compute that data, we have all of these partnerships, and it's all great. But when the token launch, and there's no external buy pressure from real customers that makes it sustainable, I very much like what you said in the beginning there, then it's going to collapse, and then people, VCs or whatever investors or more, retail investors, they're going to feel the pain in the next cycle that actually make them more hesitant to actually put real money into the development of the field, which hurts everybody that's sitting here that's interested in decentralized AI. So I think the one message that I have for my team, but for obviously people also working in this field, is to really build out the business model attached to the real world use cases where we are actually relying on them to pick up and to have the buy pressure after the token launch. We can probably raise fund in this cycle, right, in order for us to launch something. And if we focus on these particular use cases where, I don't know, drop shippers or real people on the other side is actually saying, well, you know what, because this is a better product than what I have in Web 2, I'm willing to buy that token, I'm willing to stake the token, and I'm willing to go with it and focus on that particular part where the investors could sometimes exit. But if you also give them the illusion that, hey, if they are really buying it, I shouldn't exit now. And if I don't exit now, I'm going to stay with it and hold, it's going to actually make it happen, right, in that sense. So that's what I'm focusing on at this moment. That's why I see the space going and needs to go.
Yeah, I know there's a ton of projects that have been funded that need exit liquidity, right? So I think DeepIn is a big hope. A lot of VCs I've seen are big on DeepIn because that has real world use cases, obviously, and that's where retail can come in and actually interact with crypto. So awesome. Thanks for coming over and sharing your thoughts. This was exciting. And then I think
thank you. Can I add just one more example? Sure. Because I was late, so I just want to be on stage a little bit more. Suddenly I just come up with an idea about the AI, the app for all of us here in the event. Like for example, you search in amongst 800 side event and you don't know where to go. And you can ask the AI to do that, and the AI bot gonna give you three priority in order. Like you should go to this event because of this, and if you already missed this event, here's the way to go. And what's even sometimes the AI bot will say because it has the VC there already check-in. If you have the access to the data of the VC in the checking desk, and another reason would be something. Oh, because you can work there, you don't waste several US dollar for taxi or car, and that's one of the way that we can trigger the demand for real world use cases. So I think that AI is not
Search engine.
Search engine. Google.
Is anyone working on legacy, like family histories, with all this sharing we do or oversharing we do as a society? When's the last time we took the phone and called our parents? When our parents go, their stories go with them.
I'm so interested in that. So interested.
I actually have a smart contract that I had my father tell stories and videos, and every year on my birthday, it will release a video to my wallet, even when he's gone.
There's something immutable about that, and that makes it very beautiful.
This
So
is the utility that I'm hoping for.
awesome. Let's talk about that in a second.
it's going to be the next episode of Black Mirror, I think. Next season. The decentralized world, right?
And real.
Yeah.